So you want to start showing your face on camera like all those creators out there, but you don't have the studio, the lights, or that fancy mirrorless camera everyone flexes with. Trust me, I've been there, and it's not impossible. In this video, I'll walk you through a simple, low-cost way to get a clean, professional-looking background using only a webcam, a little software trickery, and a touch of color grading. Then we'll take that footage into After Effects, clean it up, and I'll show you how to make your skin and colors pop. At the end, I'll also show a smarter workflow to turn that long footage into dozens of shorts so you can actually get your content out there consistently without burning your weekends. If this sounds useful, hit like and subscribe, and drop a comment if you want the rotoscoping deep dive. I'll make a video for that if enough people ask. There are basically two ways to replace a background: classic green screen keying or rotoscoping frame by frame in After Effects. For this tutorial, I'll focus on faking a green screen using a free-ish tool and then keying it properly in After Effects. Rotoscoping is powerful but slow. If you want a tutorial on that, type rotoscope in the comments and I'll prioritize it. Now, plenty of software can remove backgrounds. One of the most accessible and free options I like is NVIDIA Broadcast. It's powered by AI, runs live, and gives surprisingly clean results for a webcam. The catch: it works best with an NVIDIA GPU, and it's a live effect, which means it's great for streaming or Zoom calls, but once you record, you don't have much control over the isolation. That's why I'll show you how to use its background replacement to create a faux green screen, so you can later fine-tune everything in After Effects. Open NVIDIA Broadcast and go to the Camera tab. I'm using a Logitech C920, nothing crazy. Click Add Effect and try Background Blur first if you want. It's a cool, subtle way to get that shallow depth of field look from a webcam. But what we're after is background replacement. Instead of replacing with some random image, swap it for a solid, bright green screen. Pick something chroma key friendly. Save those settings. Broadcast hooks into your system camera, so any recording app like OBS will see this virtual camera with your green screen applied. Quick tip: the live AI removal is not perfect. You'll notice little white fringes around hair or glasses if you switch directly to background removal. That's fine for live streaming, but if you want a clean clip to edit and post, recording with a green replacement gives you the best chance to cleanly key later in After Effects. Fire up OBS, add NVIDIA Broadcast as your camera source, and record a short test clip. Say a line or two, something like, "This is test 1, 2, 3. We're faking a green screen so we can key in post." Keep motion moderate. Fast motion makes edges harder to clean. When you're done, drop that footage into After Effects. In After Effects, trim the comp to just the portion you need and mute audio if you're just focusing on the visuals. Add the key light effect. It's the old school reliable keyer in AE. Eyedropper the green color you used in Broadcast and start dialing in the screen gain and screen balance. Play with screen matte and clip black white to remove speckles. You'll still see some roughness around hair. Welcome to the reality of webcam keys. But key light plus a little garbage matte and slight choke usually gets you most of the way. Next step, background replacement. I like to use clean AI-generated backgrounds or simple plate images that match a lighting direction. Import your background and place it under the keyed subject layer. Position and scale so it reads well behind your subject. Right now, the hot issue is lighting mismatch. Your subject might look flat or have the wrong warmth compared to the background. This is where color grading saves your life. Instead of doing everything inside After Effects, I sometimes round trip to Premiere Pro just for Lumetri's basic correction. But you can absolutely use After Effects color correction tools. Add a color correction effect, tweak temperature and tint to roughly match the background's white balance, then push contrast and exposure a bit. Curves are your friend? A tiny S curve adds punch. Look at the before/after. Big difference, right? Experienced creators skip this and the final composite looks fake. Don't be lazy here. Now let's talk skin. Plugins like Beauty Box or Cosmo 2 can do a nice subtle skin retouch. They smooth without turning people into plastic. If you don't want to buy plugins, a mild frequency separation or a masked Gaussian blur with blending modes can work. Pick a skin sample and adjust the strength conservatively. The goal is to remove small blemishes and noise, not to blur away all texture. If the plugin softens too much, bring back some sharpness with an unsharp mask, or add a tiny camera lens blur on the background to mimic real optics while keeping the subject crisp. Speaking of blur, adding a slight camera lens blur to your background helps sell the shallow depth of field illusion. A 3-6 pixel blur depending on resolution is usually enough. Don't go extreme. You don't want the background to read like a watercolor. Okay, final polish. A little color grade over the whole scene ties everything together. Add a subtle vignette, maybe a split tone, and check skin tones on a vector scope if you want precision. Once you've got a look you like, render a master clip. Now here's where most creators get stuck. You've spent 30-60 minutes fixing a single take, and then you have a long live stream or a 30 to 60-minute interview that needs dozens of clips. That's where automation actually matters. You could spend days chopping up the master file, finding moments, and exporting every vertical short in different aspect ratios. Or you can use a tool that handles the heavy lifting. Tools like NVIDIA Broadcast are fantastic for the live part, and After Effects is great for pixel-perfect fixes, but they don't help you repurpose a long video into dozens of optimized, ready-to-post shorts. Rotoscoping can give you a clean manual key, but it's time-consuming, and plugins like BeautyBox cost money. This is where Vizard comes in naturally as part of the workflow, not as a replacement for creative edits, but as the way to scale what you've created. Vizard's AI can automatically find the viral moments in a long recording and turn them into share-ready clips. So after you render that polished footage from After Effects, you can feed the file into Vizard and let it pull out highlights, add captions, and even format clips for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. If you set auto schedule, it'll post at the frequency you choose so you don't have to manually queue everything. And the content calendar gives you a quick visual way to manage, edit, and rearrange posting dates across platforms, all in one place. Why mention Vizard here? Because it solves a real practical problem. Editing and perfecting footage is one thing. Getting it consistently published across platforms is another. You can labor over backgrounds, keys, and skin retouch for hours, but if you don't post regularly, it won't matter. Vizard helps you go from single, polished masters to a steady stream of optimized clips without the endless export-import treadmill. Quick comparison. NVIDIA Broadcast is awesome for live camera effects, background removal, and blur on the fly, but it's limited to live or recorded virtual camera output and depends on NVIDIA hardware. After Effects and Premiere are essential for high-quality finishing and advanced keying/retouching, but they're manual and time-consuming. Rotoscoping is precise but slow. Vizard isn't replacing your color grading or keying tools. It complements them by automating clip discovery, repurposing, scheduling, and cross-platform publishing, which is the real bottleneck for most creators. So the workflow I recommend: when use NVIDIA Broadcast to fake a clean green screen and record your webcam in OBS. 2. Key and polish in After Effects, key light, color grade, skin retouch, lens blur. 3. Render a master. 4. Upload the master to Vizard to auto-extract viral clips, tweak them if needed, and schedule them across socials using the content calendar. It saves you days of repetitive work and keeps your channels alive even when you're not posting manually. If you want a deeper tutorial on rotoscoping or an example of how I retouch skin without plugins, tell me in the comments. Also, if you want me to walk through exactly how I set up auto schedule and the content calendar in Vizard with sample posts, I'll make that next. All right, that's it. Here's the before and after so you can see the difference. If this helped, hit that like button, subscribe, and share with a friend who's trying to level up their webcam setup. And remember, you don't need a ton of gear to look good on camera. You need the right approach. See you in the next video.